So, welcome back to a new episode of How'd You Meet? This is Ana Gabriela Flores, your host, and I am super excited to introduce our guest today, Jonathan Jones. Jonathan, thank you so much for being with us here today.
Glad to be here. Glad to be here.
Thank you so much. And, just to tell you a little bit about Jonathan and his beautiful wife, Gabby Jones. They have been together for about 4 years now, dated for about 3 years and are about to celebrate their anniversary as we're recording this podcast. So happy anniversary to both Jonathan and Gabby. They currently do not have any fur babies or children to report at this point of the podcast. And something that you should know about the Jones is that if you want to keep up with their journey and their love story, make sure to follow their Instagram story on at Together We Jones. Am I saying that correct? Make sure I say that correctly.
That is correct.
Awesome. So
Together we
Together We
Jones.
Jones on Instagram, where they share their story, date night, and kind of what it's like, in their life. And so make sure to hit them up and follow them on IG. And so we'll dive right into the questions if that's good with you, Jonathan.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
And so we'll right into the first kind of obvious question, but it needs to be asked. So how'd you guys meet?
So we initially met at it was a Tuesday night Bible study or Tuesday night church service, and at this time I did not know Gabby, and she has some mutual girlfriends, and I actually met a gentleman there by the name of Jonathan, and I went and sat by him, and then I was hanging out with him just at the church service, and then another of my friends came around the corner. Her name was Tina. So now we're all sitting together. Me and the gentleman Jonathan are sitting in like the front-ish row, and then all of the ladies are sitting behind us. And I don't know Gabby. I just know my friend Tina. And then after we go into just the lobby type area, and I'm sitting. Well, we're standing up, and this is the meeting after the meeting, right? So we go into the lobby, and I'm talking with Jonathan, and Jonathan knows Gabby because they attend the same church. And I know that gets confusing because his name and my name are the same,
Yeah.
but his is JHN, and
Oh, okay.
mine is JONATHAN. Anyway, so we were out in the lobby. I'm sitting there talking with him, and he's wearing like a scarf. And then Gabby comes over. She steps away from the girls, and she comes over to us, and she was like, she started sniffing. And she was like, "What is that smell? Somebody smells really good." And then she sniffed my scarf. She came up and sniffed my scarf, and I was like, that's weird. And to this day, I'm not sure if I had on that cologne, because that was when I was going through like the phase of like having 2 or 3 different colognes that I used to rotate between. But that was when we first met, and I was like, that's kind of weird. So I sniffed her back, and I was like, just to be funny. And then that was when we first met, right? And then that night ended. Nothing really happened special that night, but it was about a week or so later. I then was visiting her church because we initially were going to a Tuesday night Bible study. This church is called Watermark, and then we went to her church following week or a couple of weeks later, and then she was praise dancing. So after, once again, we had the meeting after the meeting, so we're out in the hallway, and then there's a few young ladies, a few young men, and then Gabby came over, and then that was when I started talking with her a little bit, and that the rest from there, the rest is history. The rest is history.
Got it. I really thought this was gonna go towards like, and then after that, I saw my opportunity to sniff her again, so I went for it.
No, 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 no,
That was
no. It
the
was it was it was a one sniff limit.
Oh, good, good.
Yeah,
I was gonna
yeah.
say, like, oh, I'm glad it worked out because I'm glad.
That's funny.
That is a great story. That is a great how'd you meet story. So I have to know and I have to ask, how did you propose?
So it was around the time we probably were dating like a year and a half. I lose track of time now thinking about it. But this was after like I said, like I told you offline, we were dating before for 5 months. We broke up. There was a 2 year period in between. It's like 2 years. And then we got back together. And then after that, then a year and a half into it, and I started feeling the pressure. She started feeling the pressure, or she was given the pressure. One of the two. Who knows? I'm not pointing fingers. I don't know. Hey,
No, he's not, obviously.
Hey, hey, I don't know. But after that point, then I told her at the beginning of the year, I said, I'm going to take you to get your nails done every quarter. And I figured that if I did that, then when I was getting ready to propose to her, then, this would have been the norm. Like she wouldn't have expected it. But the only issue there was the
Brilliant.
first 3 quarters, I didn't take her to get her nails done. So so the fourth quarter, it finally came around. We finally had time to take her to go get her nails done. And she was like, get your nails done too. And I was like, no, I don't want to get my nails done. I'll be fine. I'll be fine. And then right around this time, now she's getting excited because she thinks she knows what's about to happen. So after I take her to go get her nails done, then I take her to it was I believe it was like a pho spot. So we were eating the noodles with the soup and our pho. Is it pho? It's pho. I think it's pho.
I mean, I say pho. I've heard pho. I'm not even gonna lie.
Exactly. It's one of the two. So we're eating noodles and she's sitting there and she's getting
Delicious.
excited. It's good. It is really good. So we're sitting there, she's getting excited, and I'm like, she's expecting it. So I'm not gonna do it. She's expecting, I could see it in her face. She was expecting it, and then the longer I didn't do it, the more it was starting to show in her face like of disappointment. So then we go. Now it's the end of the night. We ate. I took her to get her nails done. We walked around a little bit, and then she's getting in her car, getting ready to leave. And then I'm like, hold on, wait, because I told her I had some sunglasses. I was like, hold on, wait, I want to give you these sunglasses because they don't work that well for me. So she already had the sunglasses. She had the sunglasses, but I said, let me go get you the case. It's just in the car. She was like, no, I don't need the case. I'm just gonna go home. It's kind of late. I don't need that. I'm not really worried about that. And I said, no, just wait. Let me get the case. And then I went and I grabbed the ring under the seat. Well, actually, the ring was in my pocket the whole time. But I went and I grabbed the case under the seat, and then I had the ring, and then I'm knocking on the window to get her to let down the window, and then I opened up the ring, and I didn't even really ask her. I guess now I think about it, like I opened up the ring, and then she was like, "You didn't even ask me," and I'm like, "Well, you're in the car." So then I opened the door, and then I proposed, and then I asked her, and she was like, "Are you serious?" And I was like, "Yes." And then she was like, "Are you serious?" And I was like, "Yes." She was like, "You're not serious." And I was like, "Okay." And then she called her mom. Her mom said the same thing. "Are you serious?" She said, "Yes." Then we called her grandma, and she said the same thing. I'm like, "This is
Are we
ridiculous."
serious?
I was like, "Apparently, we're not serious." So that was how I proposed, and that was how we got there.
I cannot wait to hear her side of this story. I'm gonna have to ask.
I'm
I
interested to hear
cannot
it
wait.
too.
I cannot wait. And so let's talk a little bit about Gabby. By the way, I love her name, not a biased opinion. It's just a beautiful name. Gabby is just a beautiful name. Um, so what's one thing that she does that makes you smile and kind of feel warm, the gooey's inside?
So one thing that she does that makes me smile is sometimes like her dancing, just moving around and dancing, and she makes me laugh and smile that way. But what makes me feel like the gooey feeling? Um, Sometimes I think it's just like when her hands are like warm, and then she'll like put her hand on my hand or rub my hand a little bit. That's one of those things that I really would say makes me smile.
Oh, I like that. That's a nice response. No one has
Yeah,
said that one. That's a good one. I like that. I like
yeah.
that. That's nice. So, what is something that she has done that you thought was just exceptionally kind or thoughtful?
So for her, one thing that she does really well. She calls on her friends and checks on her friends often. right? Like she'll call on people, and especially since we've been in the pandemic, if she has certain friends that don't respond, she'll call and she'll text and she'll tell them, she'll threaten that she's going to drive by, because she's like that friend that wants to make sure that everybody's okay, wants to give, and she's that friend that just pours and pours. So I think that's one thing that's really exceptional about her, and just understanding that she has like a real servant's heart. She's always about making sure that well, she's always about giving back, but even in addition to that, she's always making sure that people are doing good and people are well.
That's nice. And we have a lot to learn from Gabby, it sounds like, because I am horrible at following up. And so I will try to do better in honor of your wife. I think that was a message for me. So, what has been your favorite memory with her so far? I know that's a big question, but if you can narrow
Hmm.
down a moment that just sticks out with her, what would that be?
Of course, I mean our wedding sticks out, but I'm not going to say the cliche answer. But the moment, I think one of the best moments for me is when I took her to see lights. So she likes lights. So I took her to this place called Daystar, and it's probably the biggest show of lights in, I'm not sure if in Texas, but it's pretty big. So I surprised her. We went to eat, and I brought her, and we pull up, and I'm like, "We're here." And then we went and we walked around seeing the lights, and she was like, "Oh," she was like, "This really thoughtful." So she really enjoyed herself. She was really happy, and I was just pleased that she was happy and that she enjoyed it. So that would probably be my best memory to date. Taking her to go see lights. I took time to plan it out, to think about it, and boom, made it happen.
Awesome. And your cliche answer of the wedding, what moment in your wedding sticks out?
Hmm. Well, the only one that really, really sticks out the most is like our vows and us dancing, but everything else was a blur. It was
That's what I hear.
oh my goodness, everything was a blur.
Okay.
Yeah.
But dancing sticks out and the vows.
Dancing stuck out, and definitely the vows. Definitely the vows.
I love that. I love that you're not the first person, by the way, who said like, "Oh, I don't want to say the cliche wedding response." I love the wedding responses, guys. You're talking to a COVID couple. I haven't had a wedding. Let me know the wedding stories. I'm living through you guys. I'm living
Oh wow.
And so that's the last question I have for you, Jonathan. I have one last question for you before I let you go. Is
Hmm.
there a couple that comes to mind that you would recommend for the podcast and you would like for us to interview?
Yes, I'm gonna say this couple, and I'm pretty sure Gabby's gonna say the same couple. But Kevin and Kelsia Sanders. The Sanders family is two individuals who, I mean, we just love dearly, and they've just really just been doing life with us since we got married and even before that. But Kevin and Kelsia Sanders, that's the couple for you.
Awesome. Thank you. I will follow up with you to get their contact information to make sure to get them on our podcast. And so thank you, Jonathan. That is it for today. Thank you, everybody, for listening. This was another episode of How'd You Meet?